Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So in today's video we will discuss about the water crisis and other challenges from which Pakistan is suffering right now. If we talk about Pakistan, in 1960 there was a Indus Water Treaty according to which Pakistan was assigned Indus, Jhelum and Chenab. Pakistan was assigned the water of these three rivers when India was assigned the water of Ravi, Beas and Satluj. This treaty was basically made in 1960 by the World Bank. The president of the World Bank was Eugene Black. So, according to this treaty, Pakistan is able to utilize the water of these three rivers. But India has often violated this treaty, and India is continuously utilizing and building dams on Jhelum and Chenab rivers because these rivers also come from their region. If we look at the map, then we can see here that the actually Satluj is also coming from their side, Ravi, and if we talk about Jhelum and Chenab, so they are building dams in their regions, and eventually there is a low flow for Pakistan in this region, and we are only dependent on this Indus River, basically coming from Lake Mansoor in China. These are the basically barrages and other Indus Basin irrigation system specification which I have discussed in another video. I will quickly move towards the water crisis and the reason which are responsible for the lack of water in Pakistan. So if we talk about the usages of water, we are utilizing a lot of water for our irrigation purposes. So we have to basically conserve this water and make the system efficient to save and to lower our water losses. So this data is basically taken from the Food and Agriculture Organization, United Nations. So if we move further, we have water withdrawal by source. So groundwater we are withdrawing 34%, and there is surface water, that is surface runoff, and that is basically generated when there is a rainfall and hydrograph is generated. So groundwater is mostly it is pure. It does not carry any kind of suspended impurities, while surface water carries suspended impurities. If good for drinking purposes, the groundwater is more preferable. So if we move further, here is an interesting stats. So the total water withdrawal 18342 to 1 million meter cube per year, and if we look at irrigation and livestock, where we are having a high number here, so we are utilizing a lot of water for irrigation and livestock. So here is the water source distribution of irrigated area, like which sources we are using, whether we are using private canals, tube wells, government canals, canal wells. Now these are the very region-wise setups. Now I will move towards the reasons which are responsible for the loss of water in Pakistan. We see that basically 41.6 million acre feet of groundwater is basically pumped annually in Pakistan, and about 90% of this extracted water is utilized for the irrigation purposes. If we see that most of this groundwater extraction occurs in Punjab, and it may cause the lowering of water table. And if we move further, we have a salinity and waterlogging. So what is salinity and waterlogging? Basically, when here is your strata, your tops earth soil, and water table basically rises up, and it makes it difficult to grow a crop there. You basically can grow such type of crop in this region whose roots will not be deep enough, because this water will make it impossible for the crop to grow properly. So waterlogging and salinity is the major issue that is destroying our crops. And and basically there are different regulations which have been done. So the major reason of this salinity water logging, because there is not proper percolation of water in the deep strata. So if the strata is deep here and we have encountered any kind of rocks here or any concreting like concrete structure which we built, so the water will not be able to penetrate into the deep strata and it will lie here, and here is our earth's surface, so it will rise up and it will destroy our crops. So another reason is basically another big reason of the water loss is that basically the crop yield of Pakistan is very less, only 35.5%. So this efficiency is in the form of canal head efficiency, the amount of water which we diverted from a river after making a barrage, and here is the head regulator. We extracted a canal from here and we diverted this canal to towards the and we extracted another minor canal from here and we took it towards the here is a water course, and after which we took it towards our field. So there are three types of efficiencies: canal head efficiency, so the amount of head which is actually in the canal; water course efficiency, which is the water efficiency in this water course; and the farm application efficiency. So we have to utilize drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, so that we can maximize our production, and we can use low water to maximize our production for and yield for the crop, and we can minimize the water losses. And for minimizing the water losses in canal, we can do canal lining with concrete, and we can basically avoid the evaporation and seepage losses. So the three or four main losses which basically occur in this whole system is the number one is conveyance losses, number two is the seepage losses, number three evaporation losses, and we can basically avoid all these losses to make our irrigation system efficient, and we will be able to increase this number. So escape to the sea, about 40 million acre feet is basically discharged to the sea unutilized, so we have to cater this number. We can make new barrages. We are already building Basha and Dasu dams, so that will basically lower this value. Mostly this water is discharged into Arabian Sea during Kharif season, so we have to cater this number into account to increase our water demand, because our water is reducing below 1000 meter cube per capita per day, which is actually below the threshold. So we have to take this thing into account. As we move further, you can see that graph here is on the vertical axis. There is a per capita available amount, and there is the number of years. You can see that previously we were having amount of water, great amount of water, but now it is continually reducing. By the end of 2050, it will come to 575. So that is alarming situation for us. We talk about the reservoir sedimentation is also a major cause of the depletion of water resources, because there is a lot of silt carrying capacity of water, because and the critical velocity design is not done properly. Water is not able to carry silt along with it from the dam. It basically like if water is carrying silt from on the mountains, it basically water deposits that those silt particles inside the dams, and there is no proper mechanism in Pakistan for removing silt from dams. They utilize high pressure water to remove silt from the gates, and sometimes dredging is a very expensive and difficult task to achieve. So you can see these numbers that how the efficiency basically, how the amount is basically reduced after the passage of time. So here is the land use in Pakistan. You can see the canal irrigation and for all the purpose agriculture. So here is the WAPDA vision for 2025. These are the different dams which are basically planned to be built about in about 2025. We talk about Skardu and Skardu Satpara Dam, Kalabar Dam, Bashant. Basu Dam is already in progress, and Do Pathan Dam is casting. So all these dams will